We are ready to listen, discussing current events and local news, community spotlights, hot topics, listener stories, cultural and historical discussions, environmental issues, fun and lighthearted topics, guest interviews. Kiman, basically anything you want to talk about, we are ready to listen. Here's your guest host, Charles Glidden.
Coming up next, we learn about responsible bartending, and later, it's Open Line, where you're the star of the show. Talk Today is next. Stay with me.
Talk Today is reminding you
to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037. Or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
And now, back to Talk Today.
Good afternoon and welcome to Talk Today. I'm Charles Glidden. I'll be here for the next couple of hours. Glad that you can tune in. Later on, you can be a part of the show if you'd like to. We'll be opening up the phone lines to talk about just about anything. And right now, though, we're going to be hearing about the National Drug Council's rollout of their Cayman Smart Serve training to strengthen responsible beverage service. And here to tell us all about that are Simon Miller of the National Drug Council, Shalako Christian of Le Petit Bar, and Christian Esser of the Academy of Wine and Spirits. Gentlemen, good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon,
sir.
Good
afternoon.
Thank you for having us.
So, as it stands right now, what is the situation when a bartender, a server, is facing a customer who they know has had a few too many already? What is their responsibility, if any?
So, Shalka Christian here from Le Petit Bar. We own a small bar in West Bay for the last 3 years. And even before the course, I would teach my team members, making sure that the customer is always taken care of, in the sense that they have either a taxi ride home, there's someone that can come for them, and trying not to overserve them, right? From that, because that's the responsibility of my team members, and generally in the bar scene. That's the logic owners take on. Now, people are people. Mm-hmm. When you get friends and people start doing shots and so forth, sometimes it can get out of hand. So that's where this course comes in to help correct that.
Yeah. So when you try to tell someone that they've had enough, that's not always a smooth.
Not always the easiest thing.
That's not always a smooth interaction.
Yeah, and that's where this training, Chalo, is so beautiful, because it equips people who otherwise would have not had any sort of training. And you think about, the industry here, we attract all walks of life. Some people have years of experience working bars, and some probably just entering for the first time. So when you go through this training, you have the confidence to engage in a conversation like that.
And not every place takes that kind of responsibility that you do,
right,
at your bar.
No. And again, like I said, for a Caribbean region as a whole, this is also something new. Again, like you said, rolling this out, it's this type of training is very popular in the United States, in the United Kingdom, Canada. And people have to go through this training before you can actually serve in a bar, right? And that's our hope, 2-3 years down the road, is that this training will become mandatory, because it equips all of bartenders, servers, managers on how to deal with that and how to approach it, and different techniques as well. A part of this program, we also have self-defense for females on how defending yourself in case people get handsy with you. Because again, when someone is drunk, they're not logic goes out the window, right? Yeah. Just instinct and reaction starts happening. So it's good to equip them.
And the inhibition goes out the window too, right?
Correct, exactly.
So, Christian Esser of the Academy of Wine and Spirits, this course was originated with the Academy?
That's correct, yes. We have been doing so much education over the last 15 years from Bermuda, Aruba, Jamaica, St. Martin, that we really seen, we've done wine and spirits education, that's what we do at the Academy of Wine and Spirits, and the uptake from companies, from Ritz-Carlton, Marriott's, of actually having a course about 3 to 4 hours about responsible service has become extremely important, especially after 2020. We've seen a huge uptake there. And we're actually currently in the works with the BVI and the USVI to actually design something what we call here Cayman Smart Surf. And we're taking it Caribbean-wide, USVI Smart Surf, BVI Smart Surf, and to some of the other jurisdictions.
So tell us a little bit about how this course was developed by the Academy of Wine and Spirits.
Well, it was in the works for the last 10 years since we've been working in general on it. And we thought there's this big program out of the States called TIPS. And it teaches you American laws and regulations. And so now a lot of Caribbean islands have adapted to that. But I thought, like, why do we need to adapt U.S. law? Because it doesn't apply here. So let's adapt it to each different jurisdiction, like we work here with Cayman law.
Yeah.
So Smart Surf.
The Academy of Wine and Spirits, that's a local organization?
Since 15 years.
15 years? I don't think I've ever heard of the
We
Academy of
work behind the scenes, but we do train from the Ritz-Carlton. When you go to most of the liquor stores from Jake Scott, we have trained most of the employees in wine and spirits, tequila to rum.
You should tell me it used to be called Wine School 3.
And it used to be Wine School 3. We had to rename ourselves because we do so much work in the spirits world. It got a little bit confusing just to be called Wine School 3. 2 weeks ago, we have developed other courses, for instance, called the Rum Ambassador course, which we're extremely proud of. We even have the Cayman flag in our logo. And the first course was delivered 2 weeks ago in India, in Mumbai, India. And we did a couple of courses in St. Augustine, Florida, and in Chicago, taking our courses not only Caribbean-wide, but global.
So you're really getting out there. I mean,
It's been long in the works, but yeah, we're very proud of it, what Charlie and I have created over the last nearly 2 decades.
so the two of you run this academy?
Correct.
Correct. I'm the primary instructor for the Cayman Smart Serve course, but I also train the trainers in that. So I've trained Simon in how to carry on the course as well. Like actually, all the team of the National Drug Council have been trained. Yeah. They can teach the course as well.
So how was it that the National Drug Council took this on?
So historically, for over 20 years, we have been delivering the same program that these gentlemen was talking about, TIPS, primarily to the industry here. But when we learned that these guys had developed something more localized, we were super excited, and they came to us to pretty much involve us from the early stages of the inception of the Cayman Smart Serve. So it's a wonderful fit. It's more localized, as was mentioned, and we're excited. We're super excited about continuing the work that we've been doing for over 20 years of trying to teach and educate people that the responsibility starts with them.
So when does this begin?
So we've actually trained a few persons already. We've trained at Moritz, we've trained at Sunset House, we've trained at Bonnie Moon, Fusion Mixology, some persons there, and some people from the DART hospitality program. So we've put it out there sort of as tester courses, but now we want to make it a bigger push with the National Drug Council to use this course as an alternative to TIPS. Because it's localized. It talks about the Cayman laws and so forth.
So this is not mandatory by any means for bartenders or servers, right?
No, but I mean that it has always been our hope from the National Drug Council, and as you heard these two gentlemen mentioned, that is the hope, because we want to set a standard. We have a beautiful tourism product here, so think about how that also enhances our product to say, well, we are taking this necessary step. There's other places in the region who has mandated it, so I don't think we would love to have an audience and have continue our conversation, because it has been happening for a number of years with, the policymakers and the legislators of the day to move towards that.
Have you gotten the same kind of reception from the smaller bars than as you have from the upscale bars? I mean, are they more open to this also?
Yeah, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Silverside.
Yeah,
Silverside is I would consider a local-ish type place. That's one of the places. Again, I know this is going to be a mountain when it's not a mandatory, right? But again, just showing them how the course can assist. For example, I'm a bar owner myself, and the reason you have a bar is to make money, right? Mm-hmm. Just something simple that this course teaches you. From the time the person comes in, if you give them water, because keep them hydrated,
right?
Then over a longer period of time, they can have more alcohol because then it dissipates, right? Rather than just serving them alcohol all the time. So just a small tip like that from a business perspective, you can get more, but also you're thinking of your customer that over a longer period of time that the alcohol dissipates so that they're not reaching that limit.
So the bottom line is always a good motivator, I guess.
Right. Correct. We plan on carrying out this course on the 2nd and the 30th of June at Le Petit Bar from 9 a.m. till 1 p.m. in the afternoon.
All right. We have to take a break right now, but we'll be right back and we'll hear more about it. And if you have any questions out there, you can give us a call. We'll be right back.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Cineco's parametric insurance after hurricanes is now available for motor policies. Fixed automatic payouts cover incidental vehicle expenses like fuel, cleanup, and minor repairs. No claims, no damage required. $200 for comprehensive policies or $100 for third-party policies. Available exclusively through Cineco and included with all new motor insurance policies and upon renewal for current policies. Visit Cineco.ky today. Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
50 years of service, 50 years of connection. Congratulations to Radio Cayman on reaching this incredible milestone. Since 1976, Radio Cayman has been the trusted voice of the Cayman Islands, informing, educating, and uniting our community across generations. From breaking news and national updates to cultural celebrations and inspiring conversations, Radio Cayman has been there every single step of the way. To the dedicated team behind the microphone and everyone who has contributed to this proud legacy, thank you, thank you, thank you for your unwavering service and commitment to excellence. And to our listeners who have made Radio Cayman the heartbeat of our islands for a half a century, we celebrate this movement with you. Here in the Sister Islands, we depend on Radio Cayman, especially during the hurricane seasons. We simply cannot do without you. Congratulations once again to Radio Cayman on 50 years of service to the people of the beautiful Cayman Islands. May the good Lord continue to bless this institution and all those who keep its mission alive and well.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back, and I'm talking here with Simon Miller of the National Drug Council, Shalico Christian of Le Petit Bar, and Christian Esser of Academy of Wine and Spirits about a new course that is being rolled out to make bartenders and beverage servers more responsible in dealing with their customers who may have had a few too many. Now, you were telling me an interesting technique during the break here of, how you're approaching a customer who's getting up there in the number of drinks. Tell us about the sports bar approach.
Yeah, so in sports bar football, especially here in the Caribbean, like proper football that you play with your foot. When in terms of a foul, 2 yellow cards equals a red card. So a lot of sports bars, I've not seen it here in Cayman, but I know in the U.S. some places they do it. That they'll flag you with a yellow card, and then two flags, then red card. You get, you're told sorry, that's it, you're cut off. Again, I'm not suggesting that's a way to go, but it could be. It's an easier way of breaking it to someone rather than having those difficult conversations.
Yeah. We do have a call on the line, so if you put on your headphones there, we'll see what this listener has to say. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Hey, Chalo, good afternoon, man, and good afternoon to your panel, man.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, my brethren, just want to share a short little story with you guys, From 8 years old, I took my first drink of alcohol. And I come from an alcoholic family, really. Along the road, I never really knew anything about where that would take me in life. But in the 60s, I joined a hotel. And I was a bellboy at that hotel. And, bellboys, they have to work in the bar and so on and so on. And, I became so interested in mixing drinks. And the bartenders, they were good guys, and they taught me how to do it. And when I had 100 drinks that I could remember. And from there, I started to work in the bar. At least, I think I did about 4 years in some local bars and at the hotel. At the same time, I'm not realizing what is happening to me because I'm drinking. I'm drinking too. Every time I finish work, I didn't need no more. And those times, it wasn't anything like he's too drunk to serve him no more or anything like that. It was all about money. Understand? But today I have 7 years sober.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
And my wishes, understand how I feel today. My wishes, that I had the power to ban it from Cayman Islands. Because I would have a more healthy nation of brethren and sisters. Trust me. You understand? But it is a good thing that you guys are trying to do there, and I wish you luck with it, but you got to run into some opposition with it. Not everybody can understand, and not everybody accepts helping them. Not everybody accepts that, you understand? When you drinking anything, man, I tell you, my brethren, you got to take it from experience. What that do to you. You understand? I can only say, God bless you on your work that you're trying to do. Try to help somebody. Yes. But you will it will be opposed. Maybe if you had a law to help you with it, it could become better. But you got some people, man, special tourists and things, they come to Cayman Islands throughout the Caribbean to drink. They come to drink and party. And from the time it don't go their way, then anything could happen to the business. Have a good day, my brethren.
All right, thanks for the call.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. God bless you.
Tell us a little bit about the techniques that you are going to be teaching the servers and bartenders in dealing with this situation.
So what makes our program different than the TIPS program is we've got 10 modules, and in each module that we teach, there is a role play scenario. So it doesn't matter how many people are in the class, everybody's going to come up at some point and either you're going to be the bartender who has to deal with it, or you're going to be the patron who's drunk, so that you can get that real world, real time experience. And like I said, we come up with these different things. One module, as I mentioned before, is self-defense for females in it. We have another one that's cultural sensitivity. As you know, Cayman is a melting pot, and we have nationalities from all over the world. And in just how to deal with customers. All customers are equal, right? But there are some cultural sensitivities and some things that you say and so forth. You just have to be a bit more understanding from that perspective. So those are just two things that makes us different than the TIPS program. Because we used to teach the TIPS program as well, and we saw there was lack in it. Anyone can stand up and read off of a PowerPoint.
Yeah.
And you sit there for 4 hours, and it's like, okay, take the exam, boom, I've passed it. But actually getting up and going behind the bar and interacting in those scenarios, and then breaking it down, what could we have done better? How would you have handled it? And then having those discussions, it then broadens person's minds, because each person is different, right?
So, but do you have a technique or approach that you teach as a basic way of handling someone who's had too much to drink?
So again, we always teach responsible drinking, right? We want to make sure that every person who's in there drinks responsible. Sometimes you never know what's going on. A person comes in, they may have taken medication, and now just having one drink of alcohol sets them off, right? Or they may have come from another bar and have just had shots, which is within walking distance. So now it takes time for that alcohol to be processed into your system. So they may have only had a light beer at your establishment, but now all of a sudden they go to the bathroom and they come back and they're drunk. So the different techniques we look about or we talk about is people's behavior, how the words that they're saying, if they're slurring them, or if they're very motivated in terms of the scene that they're in. And those are just a few of the examples that we teach.
And some of the techniques that we use, we really, they vary from establishment to establishment, right? Like in a sports bar, for instance, yellow cards has a little bit of a more relaxed atmosphere. If you're more of a fine dining experience, for instance, you roll over business cards where it says at the end of the card, at the back, it's like, maybe time to slow down a bit. So there's those different. But I think what the major point really is awareness, because not a lot of bartenders and servers are aware. Okay, how do we spot those signs, right? Do we know this person had 3 drinks now, right? And didn't have any regular water or any type of water or any other non-alcoholic liquid? Did he or she had some food as well? So really seeing the signs and really looking out for them, that awareness part is really what comes first, front and foremost. And the techniques, we do have them for all different types of establishments.
Do a lot of people underestimate how quick alcohol can catch up on them?
Absolutely.
They say, I've only had 2 or 3. And
Especially right now, we're hitting the summer. Right, we're having nearly 100 degrees out there. The humidity is crazy high, so it will affect you more. Definitely, And food makes a huge impact, and just drinking water. Yeah. I see it with myself sometimes. I feel like I don't drink enough, but those 3-liter water rules, they're really there for a good reason. And
what's that rule?
3 liters a day of
okay.
water, and especially when you consume alcohol, you definitely almost need to double that. So can you imagine of drinking 6 liters of water just to stay hydrated properly?
Yeah. So what are the benefits to a business that in order for them to be a good business, how can they benefit even more by making sure that their staff gets this training?
I think really when you think about the small bar up in West Bay called Liberty Bar, what Charlie cooperates together with me, is you have a small bar of 25 people. If there's one person in there really intoxicated, being loud, that impacts your other 24 customers who may never come back, don't want to come back. So really, it's just this awareness part to it what makes the huge impact, doesn't it?
Correct. And again, being able to recognize those signs. You want your return customers. You spend less money advertising, getting repeat customers, and especially, like he said, small bars where depend upon the local consumer. And you want to treat your customers like family, especially those that come back, right? So, again, a person may have had a bad day. This is not normally their character, but they've come in and now they've started asking for shots. So, as bartenders, we tend to be therapists. We tend to be your best friend, everything, right?
We take confession.
Well, exactly, right? So regular customer comes in and starts asking for shots. You know something is wrong. So you're going to be more vigilant and what you serve them. Again, subtly putting a glass of water right next to them and encouraging them.
Without being asked for the water.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
Just, again, one-to-one rule. You have a glass of wine, you have a glass of water. That's almost a given, right? Because then that way you can have 3 within the time frame. Again, many other factors. The heat outside, your body weight, if you're male or female, those are other factors that affect your blood alcohol concentration. Yeah. Right.
And, Charlie, this is the type of culture that we want to build in the Cayman Islands, where you have this level of care and responsibility to take care of people. Because at the end of the day, if you're not taking care of your customer, as Charlotte just rightfully pointed out, now that becomes a problem in the community because you're allowing that individual to leave your establishment drunk.
Time to take another break, but we'll be right back.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Wouldn't it have been grand if you had purchased land 30 years ago? It may not be 2020, but a perfect vision has never been more clear. Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, poised for growth with an eye on the future. Your land, your history, your future. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Social media, X, formerly Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Interact with our talk shows on YouTube. Download our official Radio Cayman app, or you can log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky. You can also add us to WhatsApp
on 925-3261.
All the latest information, breaking news, community events, and more. Radio Cayman. Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back. So, when does this course get started for servers and bartenders?
So, in June, we're running 2 courses. One is on the 2nd of June, and the other is on the 30th of June, 9:30 until 1 p.m. in the afternoon at Le Petit Bar in West Bay.
And what do people have to do to sign up for this?
So they can reach out to the National Drug Council. They can reach out to any of our Instagram for the Academy of Wine and Spirits or Le Petit Bar to get involved with us. We've got WhatsApp, 93. Can I give the WhatsApp number?
Yeah, sure.
345-936-1092. You can come by the bar. So there are many different ways in which you can sign up if you're interested for the course.
Is there a cost associated with this?
Yes, there's a cost of $75, but that's good for 3 years. So once you're certified, it's good for 3 years. The only thing that's different, or the only thing that would change, is if there's a change in the law, then we'd send out a revision saying, hey, this is an amendment that you need to know.
Simon, how would someone get in contact with the National Drug Council to sign up?
You could send us an email at info@ndc.ky or give us a call at 949-9000.
So then you will pass it.
And we will pass, yes, sir.
Information on.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, I mean, tell us a little bit more now. What if someone comes and signs up for this? What should they expect to go through?
So it's a very interactive course. So you come in the morning, and we go through the different 9 courses. Yes, we take little breaks along the way, but when you leave at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, because the exam is done at the same time as well. When you leave at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, you're now more confident in going out and dealing with your customers. Of course, just like with everything that you learned, you have to put it into practice, right? So when you go back out, again, the little thing, people underestimate giving someone a glass of water. When people
Means
have
a lot.
when people have to ask for water, right? And again, I understand it from some business persons. Why are you giving them water that's filling them up instead of letting them drink? But you don't see it on the flip side. The more water you give them to drink, the more alcohol they can actually drink, because then they don't feel as drunk. So from that perspective. But again, it's also that you're caring for the customers, right? Making sure that you've got taxi drivers that you can count on. Because I know sometimes late at night, 1 o'clock at night on a Sunday, no taxi drivers is there. So if you have a group of persons or friends or someone that can offer a ride home, I've had to take people home before, tourists, to the hotel before, because there's no taxi drivers that's there, right? Like I've driven my car from the bar to take them to the hotel, the Kempton or the Indigo. So that's also something that's a bit lacking.
So late night transportation.
Late night transportation, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, that would be nice. I'm sure a lot of people would appreciate that.
Yeah. Because again, then that way you can still be responsible, right? And going out knowing that, okay, I may have had one or too many. I'm still under the limit, but I don't feel confident in driving.
Right.
Let me just take a taxi home instead, right?
And our limits have been lowered now, right?
Yeah.
That's correct. 0.07 is the blood alcohol concentration.
You have any idea how many beers or
It's about
rums
It's about 2 drinks. It's about either two pints or 2 vodka sodas or 2 glasses of wine, because they all come in different volumes, right? A pint is 16 or 20 ounces. Glass of wine is 5 ounces. So pretty much 2 drinks at the end of the day that gets you right there.
Yeah, I know a lot of people who would think that that's not enough for the night out.
Yeah.
That they were just getting started at 2.
Yeah, but this is where like I said, the water, and I keep pushing this, that so yes, water is not free in a sense. Someone has to pay for it, but from being responsible to your customers and then educating them about it, and you can educate them by not making them feel guilty about it. Like I said, subtly putting the water there and making sure that,
I'm sure a lot of people would just appreciate it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good gesture, and drink some water, because lots of times, you don't even realize how thirsty you are.
Correct. Exactly.
Drink some water, and
well, alcohol dehydrates you, right? So, so having the water there to
even before you start drinking, though. I mean, someone offers you some water, you drink it, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Does overserving have any impact on your bar license, your liquor license?
So in a sense, if there's a situation, police has to be called, or it goes to court or something like that, you will be called in, and you have to go and sit before the board and explain what happened, what are you going to do so that it doesn't happen again. So you could be fined, or you could lose your license for that.
Well, really, you could be fined.
Oh, absolutely. In developing this course, I've presented it to the chair and the board of the Liquor Licensing Board. We've also talked to the Chief of Police about the course, and we gave them, before we had the formal version, we gave them a pseudo version at the beginning. So we've gone out and we've talked to certain persons, and now through the National Drug Council we're going to start rolling it out.
So if a fight breaks out because somebody's too drunk, you might have to answer for that.
Absolutely. Or if a knife stabbing or guns, which again, that's a reality here in Cayman. Not a lot of people talk about it, but it is a reality, right? So yeah, you have to go and present yourself before the Liquor Licensing Board, and you have to demonstrate what you've done, if you've got security or so forth, for you to continue your license. Because if you don't, they give you a time frame, and if you don't, they'll take your license from you. That's it.
Is there any requirements for the people who might want to take this course?
No requirements at all, because we teach you from as if you're 18, you're coming out of high school, and you're going into serving alcohol at the beginning.
Okay, so and you don't have to be employed at a bar or anything like that. No one has to be sponsoring you, or
no, not at all. If you want to do it yourself, just because it's a part of when you're going to apply for a job, and you can say that now I've got the certification, because that's the other thing. The course is certified through the United Kingdom. It's a certified course, so it's not just available here in Cayman. It's certified through the UK. Right?
Yeah, it's called CPD, which we certify all our courses through the UK. Just it goes through the presentations, the booklets have to be sent in. Some amendments sometimes have to be made just to make sure that we cater to every demographic. We take it very serious.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit more about when you take care of your customer, the image that your establishment has by doing that.
Well, again, I'll use my own bar as an example. Small bar in West Bay, 25 seats. We get a lot of ladies that come in because they feel protected, in the sense they feel a level of comfort knowing that we're going to take care of them. One of the things that I do, and I know this is not for every place, but this is what I do. We're open until 2 a.m., right? And we're the only place in the area that's open until 2. But I've established with the West Bay Police beat officers that they roll around every once in a while, and I make sure that every lady that goes out, if they're not going with a male, if they're by themselves or they with a group of other ladies, that our bartender will stop service or kitchen staff will stop service, and they will walk them to the car to make sure that they've gotten in and they've left, or if they're waiting on taxis. And again, that's the level of hospitality that I want everybody to get to. We sell ourselves as the culinary capital of the Caribbean, so we want people to come to these islands. But what about taking care of our own that's already here in these islands, right? And that's the level that, Simon said, where we want to try and take it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what role are you playing in this whole training scenario?
Well, we'll join, these guys in terms of facilitating the courses and trying to do whatever we can from National Drug Council perspective to, again, get this where it becomes something that is mandatory, because we see where it really improves the product and the services that we have here in this beautiful
mm-hmm.
country.
So have you had any kind of feedback from, government officials about this as far as the possibility of it being something that's mandatory?
Well, we wanted to get it out there because, again, the best feedback that we can get from government is saying that we've already demonstrated with some of our clients, here's what our clients are saying. Mm-hmm. So instead of going to them without having anything being done before, then we can go to them and say, okay, here, look, this is what we've done, and now where can we go from there, right?
So you're going to have it all proven already before you make any further approaches.
Yeah, again, Caymanian. Sometimes we like to put the horse before the cart, but for us, we've been educating for such a long time in different areas, we know how things work, and especially when it comes down to different governments, because we don't just work with the Cayman Islands government, we work with the Antiguan government and Turks and Caicos government in terms of their hospitality schools, right? We've done training there before. So we understand sometimes it takes 6 months or it takes 9 months to get things done. So if we can go out there and get things going that they see that we're actually active in doing it, then they're more likely to come on board rather than saying, we'll wait and see before we'll actually come on board.
All right, well, let's make sure everyone knows how to make contact and when and where.
Yes. So again, it's on the 2nd and the 30th of June at Le Petit Bar from 9 a.m. till 1 p.m. You can reach me at 936-1092. That's also WhatsApp. You can also edit our social media, the Academy of Wine and Spirits, Le Petit Bar, and
National Drug Council 949-9000, or send us an email, info@ndc.ky.
Any final words?
No.
Now, thanks so much for having us. And I think that's really a great product and just making Cayman to be really the best culinary capital they can be in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
So you would say that anyone who goes through this course is going to be a better bartender, a better server.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Absolutely, sir.
Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for coming in. Sounds like a great program, and all the success with it.
Thank you for much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
We're coming up on 1 o'clock, and in the next segment, well, the phones are open. You can pick up the phone, give me a call, express yourself. We can find out what's on your mind right here on Talk Today. Right now, it's time to see what's making headlines.
Yesterday, today, always and forever. Always love. Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
With your latest headlines, I'm Elizabeth Charles. Police say missing teen Javari Rankin has been located and returned home. The update brings an end to a public appeal for assistance in finding the 13-year-old. In a statement today, the RCIPS confirmed Rankin had been safely located and thanked members of the public for their help. In international news, in the UK, 4 Labour ministers have now quit and called on Prime Minister Keir Starmer to resign, increasing pressure on his leadership. They join more than 80 Labour MPs who want him to step down immediately or announce a timetable to leave. In coverage today, the BBC reports that 110 Labour MPs have signed a statement saying this is no time for a leadership contest and urging colleagues to focus on winning back public trust. In other news, global hedge funds have sharply increased investment in Asian equities, with weekly buying in South Korea, Japan, and Taiwan reaching its highest level in more than a decade. A Reuters report today cited a Morgan Stanley client note which stated that heaviest buying occurred in the week ending May 7th. The bank said most activity took place outside of the United States, with Asia-Pacific markets leading. Major stock indexes in all 3 markets hit fresh highs last week, with buying focused on semiconductor and hardware companies. Morgan Stanley said hedge fund exposure to the region now stands at about 19% of global positioning. Those are the latest headlines. I'm Elizabeth Charles.
Radio Cayman. More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Your Cayman Islands Health Services Authority has been the national healthcare provider of the Cayman Islands for many generations. We have elevated our level of care to ensure you, our patients, have the best possible experience. We offer better access to care close to home with the most locations on all 3 islands, delivering a full range of primary, secondary, tertiary, and emergency care. HSA is a JCI accredited organization, and we are committed to caring for you.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands. Hinton Roxroy Connolly was born in Creek, Caymanbrac on 9th of September 1937. Fondly known as Big H to his family and friends, both a sailor and electrical technician with 5 years at sea and 29 years with cable and wireless, in January 1960, Big H married Cicely Dilbert of Creek, Caymanbrac and had 5 sons. In October 1976, he was united in his second marriage to Francine Porter of Spot Bay, Caymanbrac, and they had 1 daughter. Big H was a part of the band Eddie and the Beach Boys, and in August 1977 traveled to New York, where he recorded and published his album, A Quick Drink by the Pool Bar. Big H could always be found at the Hilton, his backyard kitchen, which he built in the late 80s to house in yams and cassava he cultivated on the bluff, later converting it into an outdoor kitchen which was named the Las Vegas Hilton. Big H spent the majority of his time at the Hilton, and you would find him playing his guitar and singing his heart out while sipping on his 345 beers. He was known for having many cook-ups with his famous beef and pork. On the evening of Wednesday, 18th September 2019, 9 days after celebrating his 82nd birthday, Hinton passed away peacefully at the Health City Hospital in East End, Grand Cayman. He was the proud father of 6 children, along with 17 grandchildren and 11 great-grandchildren. Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
The Spring Labor Force Survey and Quality of Life Survey conducted by the Economics and Statistics Office is currently underway. The Labor Force Survey collects information on employment and unemployment in the Cayman Islands, while the Quality of Life Survey gathers feedback on well-being, financial security, community belonging, and overall life satisfaction. Trained interviewers with official ESO ID cards will visit randomly selected households. All interviews are confidential under the Statistics Act, and no individual information will be published. For details, call the ESO hotline at 516-3329.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back, and let's take a look at the weather here. The current temperature in Georgetown, 85 degrees. It feels like 95 degrees. And the days are getting longer. Yes, sunset is at 6:51 now. Yep. You know, it's that time of year, more light, and you can get more things done, right? You can add to that to-do list. You have more daylight to go out and get things done in the yard there. And let's see what the forecast is looking like here. Yes, the forecast for today, 30% chance of showers. That was some good showers this morning, I'll tell you. At least up my way, up Prospect Way. We had some good showers up there. And the heat index could go near 101. That's hot. Tonight you can expect partly cloudy skies, becoming cloudy at times with a 30% chance of showers. Temperatures will be in the upper 70s. Winds will be variable and light at 5 knots or less. Seas slight with wave heights of 1 to 3 feet. So that's the weather outlook here in the Cayman Islands. And I don't know if you caught that, our first segment there about this training for bartenders and beverage servers, knowing how to deal with customers who have had one or two too many, and how to recognize all of that, and and how to go about saying, hey, maybe you've had enough. Maybe you want to take it a little easier. But that's the interesting thing with the water. Just subtly just putting a glass of water on the table for customers to drink to keep them more hydrated, and trying to keep things on a level keel. Because if you've ever had to deal with someone who has had too many and trying to get that through to them, in a way in which they accept it, sometimes that can be, a bit of a trial. Because sometimes when people have had too many to drink, it becomes harder to get them to accept the fact that they have gone over the limit, and they think that they can, have a few more and then go even further over the limit. It's like, I'm sure some of you may have experienced trying to tell somebody, like, why don't you let me drive you home? And they're insisting they're okay. And they're not seeing themselves from the same perspective that you're seeing them. And they think that they can, drive just as good as when they came to the party. And that's something that, you have to be kind of tactful with. And if you don't know how to go about doing it, it can turn into, kind of confrontation even. So that's a really good course. And, apparently they've been doing it for some time. I hadn't really heard of their efforts before. But doing good things there with the National Drug Council and the Academy of Wine and Spirits. They devised that course. And hopefully a lot of places will, take them up on the offer, and their people will be going there. And it would be very good to see where, in order to work as a server or bartender, that people have to, have training such as that, before that could probably be part of an establishment's license, that all their employees must have this training, for them to have a valid liquor license. Because, the liquor licensing board, they can tack on certain things onto a license requiring an establishment to run a good show. Well, we have some calls on the line, so let's go to the phones. Good afternoon. You're on the air. Hello, you're on the air.
Yeah, Chalo.
Yes, you're back. How you doing?
I couldn't say everything in that little space of time there, but Chalo really tending bar, right?
Mm-hmm.
One has to do that job to really know what that job demands.
I imagine it can be very demanding.
And let me tell you, in those days, back in the 60s and thing at Glidden Beach and Coral came out and thing, I've served as a young boy the richest of Caymanians in those times. But when you got a front line in front of you, as a bartender. And everyone they take, the drunker they get.
Mm-hmm.
But they have money. So they're tipping you well, they're buying you a drink, and you keeping yours underneath the counter, you know, because you will starve, you understand?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Chalo, man, I tell you the experience, Chalo. And at the end of the night, Chalo, you'll find yourself, you finish work and you want to go home. And you got 2 or 3 good customers. And they're your friends now because you're drinking alcohol. And like I say, they tip you well, everything, and you have to sit down and wait till they decide to go. So much, man, you have to go through when you're working in those places, man. But Charlotte, today, I know I said a word just so that didn't go down too well with them, right? If I had the power, I'd ban alcohol from Cayman Islands.
Yeah, I think they understood where you were coming from, though.
But some parts, when they were talking, I could hear something, you know, identifying what I had said. Like, you'll have opposition with that because, especially with tourists and things, some tourists come to Cayman, with the whole Caribbean, they come here to drink and party, man. You understand? And when they got here, all this, can't sell you no more and things like that. Boy, they don't understand that. They don't understand that. You understand? So that can hurt the business. You know, you trying to be nice to them and help them could hurt the business. You understand? But Chalo, I came across all kind of drinkers, right? You got a man that come into the bar and he can take 2 or 3, and you just see him again for another couple of months.
Right.
You understand? That's the discipline. That's the discipline that was in those men. But majority had to get drunk lots.
Well, back in those times too, that was, I don't know, it was almost like that was part of being a man, right? Like you had, if you're going to be a man, you got to drink. That was kind of the mentality that there was.
Yes, man.
I mean, I know back in the day too, you know, guys gather at somebody's house. It's not about having a few drinks.
Yeah, man.
Nobody's leaving until the bottle is empty.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. The bottle would have to get empty for, you know, let's say, let's go home now.
Yeah, Charlie, you know, up in this morning, I was talking to a lady down at the supermarket, the man, and tell her a little bit of my life story, because I have to keep sharing that. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And I would tell her, man, you know, that's one of the greatest decisions that I made in my life.
I'm sure.
When I stopped that, I struggled with that Chalo. I got hurt Chalo, physically and mentally by that one.
Well, I can hear it. I can hear it in your story. I can, you know, in your voice. You feel like you have a new life.
Yeah, man. Today, I wouldn't encourage no young person, boy or girl, to taste it, because if you can grow up and get old and you haven't tasted, you never miss anything.
Mm.
Cold glass of lemonade is better. Yes. Hello.
Listen, I got a couple of callers on the line. I got to try and get them in here.
Get them in, Chalo, because I need to listen to them too, you know?
All right. Always good to hear from you, though.
Yes, man. Later.
Okay, take care. Let's take another call here. Good afternoon. You're on the Air with Talk today. Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yes, how are you doing?
Okay, man, you?
I'm okay.
All right. Well, what I gotta say about a bar room?
Mm-hmm.
When big full-grown people come there, they're not coming there for people to tell them what to do and how to do it and when to do it. I know that. And it's not too many people that when you offer them a glass of water, or just take and drink that water just so either. Especially if they don't know who you are.
I mean, you're in an establishment.
So, I mean, it's a good thing they train. Then when I heard him talking about the UK, it's a program coming out of the UK that does it. I can tell you one thing. I stay in the UK right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that program isn't working too good up in 2-minute bar rooms. I can tell you that. And them English people, when they start drinking, you don't tell them about 2 glasses of water.
Well, they're not forcing the water on
what?
you. From what they were saying, it was done very subtly. You just put the water there, and hopefully they will drink it.
Yeah, well, I hope they're pouring this water out of a sealed bottle or something that's hasn't been open or something, or has been open right in front of them. You can't just take and get water, instead of water now, and take and put down in front of somebody now and offer them a glass of water like that. So it's different ways you have to offer people water too. And then you have some people just don't want to get sober.
Oh,
I've seen people who want to throw up because they're so drunk.
To start over?
And because they know,
they throw up in order to start over? Start drinking more?
No, I've seen people who have been so drunk that they want to throw up.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of throwing up, when they're about to throw up, they would swallow it down to stay sober. To stay drunk.
Oh, God.
You're
pretty far gone to do that.
Yeah, well, I've seen that. I'm telling you the God's truth. I've seen people doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So, is it a program that that they say that you have to pay to join the course?
Yeah, it's $75 for the course. Yeah.
Yeah, I figured that. Something like that should be for free if they care about people so much.
Well, I guess there's certain costs involved in it.
Yeah. But I tell you the truth, being somebody that used to drink myself, and I go into no bar room and make somebody tell me how to drink, when to drink, and how to drink it. And I go in out to enjoy myself for people to tell me what to do. I know that.
Well, they're not going to stop you from enjoying yourself. I think, they what they're trying to do is to prevent you from, going over the line here. And I get from my impression is that there will come a point where they say, they try and do it nicely. And if you're not going to cooperate, there will be a point that they say, sorry, we're not going to serve you any more drinks.
Yeah, because they already know, the National Drug Council already knows the longer you drink, the more alcohol you're going to consume than when you first started. They know all this. So you can't go tell people how much to drink. They gotta leave the establishment. If you don't mind them leaving, then
yeah. Well, I think that's the approach they take. Because they will have made the decisions that we're not going to serve this person anymore because he's gone too far over the limit here.
Yeah, well, when they do that, then they can just do as a customer.
Well, I guess they've taken that decision. And
yeah,
often depending on the kind of bar or restaurant or whatever that you're running, that person that has gone to that extent of drinking probably doesn't do anything for the atmosphere in the bar. I don't know if you heard what they were saying, but lots of times the person that gets too drunk makes the whole experience inside the bar bad for everybody else. You know, they're being too loud, they're causing trouble, they're, you know, interfering with other people. So to them, you know, that person doesn't come back, they haven't really lost anything. Well, listen, I got a couple of calls on the line here, so I got to get them in here. All right, thanks for the call. Let's go to another caller. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Hello.
Hello, you're on the air. Good afternoon.
Are you going to knock me off at 1:30?
Well, we could go a little bit past 1:30, but not too far.
I didn't. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I didn't listen to your program, but I just heard a bit of the two last callers' conversation in regards to liquor and drinking. What I have to say about that, when you lose your precious family members to liquor, and to see that this island is so small, and every corner you turn, there's a liquor store, there's a restaurant, there's a bar serving liquor. You could even get a cold beer while you're there working, or a little small flask of rum, and walk with and chase it with your soda. I don't even think they had that many years ago. The liquor is just raging throughout this island. We got officers who's out here call themselves protecting us. We don't have no real random check on our roads to see if anyone is under the influence of liquor during the daytime or night. Well, they do more at night. I must say that they're trying to catch them like on the weekends and so forth. But in the daytime, we got just as much drinking going on as we have in nighttime and weekends. You go to those liquor stores, you'll be surprised to know how much liquor they have sold from 10 o'clock up until about 1 o'clock in the daytime throughout the island. And you will say, whoa, in the daytime, God, that's my drinking is the weekends and at home, whatever case may be. We need to stop giving these liquor licenses. I don't care who they are. It needs to stop. There is too many. I'm trying to control it now to a degree. It is ludicrous. And then to pay I'm going to put in my term. I don't know what he meant for $75. Because like I said, I didn't listen to them. I just heard what it mentioned.
That's how much
$75.
the course that they're offering.
Now you're going to go and do a course to avoid from trying to control yourself from drinking. That's what that's all about.
Yeah.
Is that what a course is?
Well, let's put it this way: the course is to educate bartenders and servers about recognizing when people have had too much to drink and how to handle that situation, and telling the person, time for you to, take it easy now because you've gone too far.
Mr. Glidden, I don't think there's any chapter in any book can tell an individual how much they should drink and how much they shouldn't drink. If you go to a bar and you have had your limit, and if you want to leave, you leave, and if you want to get rowdy, then they call the police to take that individual out. Look at the purple ribbon that it brings on every year, encouraging people to ride on the purple ribbon, to go out and drink and get a free ride back home. Some of them people don't even know where they live after they get 2 drinks in them. You should hear some stories from the taxi drivers going years by when they couldn't find the person's house, when the person kept saying, is that house right there when you stop there? Oh, no, the very next house is mine. And it went on and went on. I heard so many stories. It didn't happen to me, and it will never happen to me. But, that is that. But what a call for, Mr. Glidden, Walker's Road.
What's going on there?
when are we going to get a decent paved Walker's Road? The road up there, it is down to the gravel. They came there and did some topping some months ago, and they haven't taken it any further. And here we are fixing roads here, and we fixing roads there, and we buying people's property to make more lanes and so forth. And Walker's Road is in dire need of help to be paved, resurfaced, whatever they're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we will see a lot of work being done on this island. But sometimes I wonder who has the calendar and who has the listing of where is more dire need of being fixed than other areas throughout this island. And I want to say that dock down there on West Bay Road there, Northwest Point.
Yeah.
When they were fixing that a couple of months ago, they got this huge sidewalk, which is great. But the fact of the matter is, when people go in there and park with their boat trailers and so forth, when you are trying to get back out of there, you can't see nothing coming from the right. Everything is blocked off, and that's a dead-link corner from day one. So I don't know who's going to fix that, but there should not be anything blocking the entrance coming in to, what is the road called again now?
Northwest Point Road?
Northwest Point Road coming, yes. That shouldn't be being blocked off.
So
with
it's
trailers.
The people using it with trailers and stuff are actually blocking your line of vision to see if a car is
You're
coming?
blocking your line of vision when you go in there to come back out because they got trailers up there against the sidewalk inside now, but you can't see any cars that is coming.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say from the old ice cream parlor there, whatever, that had their silver signs and so forth. So they need to fix that nobody park up to block that sidewalk they got there and cars coming to go into Northwest Point.
Someone should regulate that because, you know.
It needs to be done properly.
Yeah.
And I know it's probably time for me to go, but I want to say one more thing. I see the West Bay Primary School children playing on the ground, and they're all wearing hats, which I had spoke about some time ago. And I think it's such a great idea to see those kids out there wearing their hat in the hot, broiling sun. And I'm asking all of the primary schools to see about their children having proper hats on their head once they're having lunch or PE or waiting for their parents or the school bus or whatever the case may be. It's going to be a very hot summer.
Yeah, the sun is hot.
And the sun is hot. So I'm just asking that the schools will get together with the PTA and talk to the parents and get some hats on these precious little children that we call our future and that we use every 4 years as a political football to get where we want to get when we're ready. And I'll leave you with that.
All right. They can follow Uncle Chalo and wear a hat.
Exactly. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Caller, hang on there for me. We're going to take a break, but we'll get to you when we come back.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Explore your history. Explore your land. Explore your sister islands. The ultimate staycation experience. Your culture, your freedom. The land that time forgot isn't gone. It's your sister islands.
Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter will be taking appointments from May 11 to 15 at his Crew Road Clinic. Appointment slots are limited. Whether you're seeking advanced skincare, Botox, filler, cosmetic enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email dr.porterkman@gmail.com or call 946-9020 to book your appointment today. That is 946-9020.
This is Roy Barton, and I'd like to wish Radio Cayman a happy 50th anniversary and many, many, many more.
Put your sweet lips a little closer to the phone.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back. Let's go straight to the phones. Good afternoon. You're on the air with Talk Today.
Captain, how many minutes you going to give me?
Oh, I could give you 10, 50. I don't know.
No, I don't need that. I'll wrap up my conversation in probably 3-4 minutes.
Well, that's good radio time.
Good. The last lady was talking about the children wearing hats and so forth.
Uh-huh.
That's a move in the right direction. However, there's a song that says 96 degrees in the shade.
Mm-hmm. Third world.
I don't know, but it seems like you got some kind of a laser that is pointing down on us in these days. Air condition is not the answer. If you took a 3.5 ton air condition,
mm-hmm.
you put it in the sun, and you stand up under a good shade tree, there's no difference. There is no difference because the sun beating against the cool air is no difference. That is proven. Now, my contention is this.
I'm trying to imagine that.
I know it's hard to imagine, but you can try it. Why that the authorities that be cannot make some provisions into this, as we call it, this little island, that people can constantly clear land with no reservation what you have to do and what you can't do. You just clear land and put up more concrete and a few flimsy plants, and that's it. If you look at the animals out in the sun, I mean, that is inhumane what's going on into this little island.
You mean like when people just put horses out and in the sun and no shade or anything like that? Is that what you're speaking?
Absolutely, horses and cows as well.
Yeah.
And that beef cannot taste normally like cows that is well taken care of, got shade trees or something. It is very disheartening that you got on the show and you talk to people, but to no avail. People are not paying what you're saying in attention, really, because they're in the air-conditioned office and they think that's it. The biggest mistake that is being made into the Cayman Islands right now is what we are doing to this God-giving little island. People should be made to understand when you clear in land, you have to put back so many good trees. What about the streets? What about in the parks? What about in the fields of the school that you don't have some good shade trees there for children to be under in just a hat? Something is radically wrong, and no one is listening, Charlo.
Yeah, that's true. You can have your football field or whatever, but an area should be with some shade trees. That would be
perimeter of the field, of course. You know, and I want to turn the page a little bit for a few minutes more, not long.
Yeah.
You hear people talking about if you don't know where you're coming from, you don't know where you're going.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, if you don't know your history, blah, blah, blah. I'll give a little bit of history if you don't mind.
Okay, go ahead.
Grandma Susanna, that's a lady called Grandma Susanna. That was my grandfather's sister. My grandfather was Charlie Albert. His brother was Monze. You hear about Monze boat in the sound?
Of course.
All right, that was made up of Uncle Monze. And people only sing the song, they don't know the rest of the story.
And did he have a boat in the Sound?
He did have a boat. That was part of their livelihood to go to and catch some fish. So he did have a boat in the Sound.
Okay.
And I need to know exactly why they call him Monze, because I think that was just a pet name. I don't think that was his real name.
Yes,
okay.
Back in those days, I think they just kind of pulled him out of the air.
Yeah.
Those nicknames.
Now, Grandma Susanna, you hear about the Majestic, right?
Yeah.
Grandma Susanna lost 5 sons when the Majestic went down.
5 sons.
Okay.
Oh,
absolutely 5 sons. Okay. Then when you talk about history, I can tell you a lot of history that people don't know. They don't care to know. They'll come with the modern day, this and that and the other. About what do you call it? Emancipation Day.
Yeah.
Good. Well, you're old enough to remember people like Dr. Harder.
Of course. I even went to Dr. Harder once or twice.
Thank you, Dr. Harder, Mr. Blackman, Mr. Bingham, Mr. Hicks.
Mm-hmm.
All of those people, nothing has been said about those people. Where all of this was when they were here beating mosquitoes and trying to keep us alive. And now we come and change the goal post about Emancipation Day. I'm not putting it down, but I'm saying it is so disheartening to see that we don't remember really where we come from, because those are the people that made us from where we came till now. We had some really, really good Caymanians, honest, upright, decent Caymanians that bought this island to start a foundation. And for anybody to start getting about Caymanian and try to bring Caymanians down, I think it is really disgraceful to hear our own Caymanians trying to put us down. That's not good. We have a pride and proud history of where we come from. And this is what they should be talking about. Not listening to some rhetoric people coming in here about Caymanians is lazy and Caymanians is this and this and that and the other. People are coming here, you know why? Because of Caymanians like myself, you and others, that greet them with a good, kind understanding and welcome them. They're not coming here to hear about some other blander from another country or what happened there. So I will tell those that try to put Cayman down, our own Caymanian people, it's high time that you talk about the good that Caymanians have been and the people that I just mentioned from other countries, specifically from England, that has been so good to us. But you never hear anything about that. You only hear about some other Caribbean country or this about Emancipation Day. Where are these people that came before them? Nothing has been mentioned.
Well, remember, Emancipation Day is about more than 1 or 2 people. I mean, it's about, the freeing of enslaved people, who many of us are descendants of those people. And it was really a red-letter date in Caymanian history.
However, adding to what you say, the slaves here was well treated. They wasn't abused.
They were still slaves, though.
Yeah, they were still slaves. Of course, they were still slaves. But if you check up your history, a lot of those people went back to their little houses or whatever they had when the day was over. Into that North Sound area, William Nixon Highway, I can't remember who it was that this English slave master, when they was leaving, gave so many acres of land to so many Caymanians in the years gone by, but that's not remembered. Okay, we got a lot of things crossed up, my friend. Yeah. We got a lot.
I'm not saying that those people that you mentioned didn't do great things in their time here in Cayman. You know, as a matter of fact, I remember Ezra Miller, the Speaker of Parliament. Remember when he was a minister and he was out to build a hospital, and it was supposed to be named the Dr. Horder Hospital. You know, I mean, certain people do remember those names that, you know, you called. And
when you say remember,
I agree with you that they should be recognized more than they have been.
Thank you. That's my point. They should be recognized, not just remembered, because the younger people, especially, they don't have a clue where we come from.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they just go on with all the modern things that they hear, but they really forgetting our island, where we really, our ancestors, where we came from. When Caymanians started to go with national boat carriers, you know how that happened? Caymanians were seamen from Mosquito Keys going out ranging, fishing.
Sure.
Okay, good. Then Southwell Ludwig discovered the best seaman that they could get was the Cayman Islands. That is why we were such in demand.
Maybe he should be a candidate for a national hero too.
Of course, why not?
Because think of what that did for Cayman. That Caymanians were the people that he wanted to come and work on those ships. You know, I mean, that changed a lot for Cayman. And then the arrangement that he had, the money was sent home.
Thank you.
Right? They just weren't paid in whatever port they happened to be. A certain amount of their salary was sent home.
We were recognized as the best seamen in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Before us, the Norwegians and the Scandinavians was considered, even the Vikings was considered the best seamen. And when Cayman came up and bypassed them, then there was a jealousy for a period of time. Okay? So Cayman has no just an ordinary history. We have a historical thing to be celebrated, which it isn't until this day. So I just hope, and I'm going to get off now, that somebody would talk to people that know history about this island and get on with it and give us a little bit of more recognition, not just remember, but more recognition of people that came here from other countries, and Caymanians especially, who made the foundation of this island. My good friend, thank you so much for listening to me, and have yourself a pleasant afternoon. Thank you.
The same to you. Good to hear from you. Right now, let's take a break. Be right back.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Looking to explore your future in Cayman's insurance industry? Join us at the Cayman Next Gen Insurance Forum on May 28th at the Marriott. This free event is designed for school leavers, university students, and early career Caymanians, with parents also welcome. Learn how the insurance and reinsurance industry works, hear from young professionals, and connect directly with people in the field. The event runs from 2:30 to 6 p.m. with refreshments provided. Register now at imac.ky or follow at iMac Cayman on Instagram for more information. Hosted by iMac, Circa, and CIIA.
Freedom, Cayman Rock. Freedom, Little Cayman. Soft breezes, blue waters, no traffic.
Unwind and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. Sister Island Staycations, a taste of freedom. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Hey, K-Man, this is DJ Lynn. Catch me live weekdays from 7 till 10 a.m. on the Morning Breeze, our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM. We're waking you up with the best adult contemporary hits with the 70s, 80s, 90s, and much more. So start your morning the K-Man way with me, DJ Lynn, on the Morning Breeze.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back. Let's go straight to the phones. Good afternoon. You're on the air with Talk Today. Hello, you're on the air.
You can hear me?
Oh, loud and clear.
All right. Good afternoon to everyone listening. I sort of got the tail end of the conversation about being recognized and, how our oral history is being neglected a little bit and not really recorded in the proper way so that it can be history instead of somebody else's story. It will be our story,
Yeah.
And there is, he was mentioning about Emancipation Day.
Mm-hmm.
That is pretty important, I would say.
I would think so. I mean, the freeing of the enslaved people.
Right. As we go back in our history, thank God I didn't have to endure some of the hardships of, slavery myself, only in this world that we live in now, corporate slavery. But there was a lady, I think her name was Longcelia.
Yeah, you can learn more about her at the National Museum right now.
Right. When you take a tour of one of our birthplace of democracy in our island, which is Pedro St. James, you'll learn a lot about some of our history that, it was before our time. It had to be recorded in a way so that it could be passed down. And speaking of that, there is a lot of tourism. One of our pillars of our economy here is tourism.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't know about when the first cruise ship came to Cayman. The year was 1937, and Commissioner Cardinal, which is the street named after downtown.
Yeah, he did a lot of good things to Cayman too.
Yes, and my aunt, I let Ebanks Parsons was her name, the proprietor of Hell Gas Station for many years before she passed recently, changed recently, but it was many years now. She was 20 years old in 1937, and she was head of the Girls Brigade. And Commissioner Cardinal asked her to give a tour to the visitors off of the cruise ship Atlantis. I think it was HMS Atlantis. She also doubled as a mail ship. And she took them to Hell Hole, which is right behind the Hell Post Office.
Yeah.
There was a hole in there that a lot of us don't get, to experience anymore. Back then, the hole went straight. It was like a split going through the island, going through West Bay, come out down there by through Bonaventure and what is now Watercoast Road. When I was growing up, was called Long Hole Road because of that hole that went up behind.
So the earth was split, and it you call it like a fissure, and it ran from where Club Inferno is, from hell, all the way over to Northwest Point.
And that still exists, but it's like when an earthquake happens, it shows its face again. They had that subdivision that was built off of Watercoast Road, and when the last earthquake happened, that road collapsed, and they had to bring all them dump trucks with them big rocks again and fill it up. But to get back to the point about our history, my aunt, Miss Idlette Parsons, she was the tour guide at that time, and she took them to Hell Hole, and in Hell Hole was 2 turtles that the turtlers were put in there, small turtles, because they could survive in there because just a few inches below the surface was salt water going straight to the ocean, and as kids we would feed them, crabs and different things that we could find there. But they had little fish in that pond. They still got fish out there in hell. They're small. And that's one of the things that I've been trying for a long time, and running into some resistance at, paperwork, where you do anything for the government, you got a ton of paperwork, and nobody wants to sign off on it because...
But what were you trying to do? Preserve that, or...?
Preserve that. That's the first tour site of a cruise ship here in Cape Ann. And they're filling it up. They're filling up that hole with I see garbage in there, I see rock. So, from the time Tourist Attraction Board was Tourist Attraction Board and Mr. Connolly was there, I was getting some of the guys together, to all West Bears that know about it, to clean it out and give them some recognition. But, some of the comments that I received was really heartbreaking, because they were saying, them guys, they would steal the turtles. No, they wouldn't. They would be the protectors of those turtles, because we could put the turtles back in there from a small turtle, like how they're released, smaller than that. And if they got a concern about the stealing of them, you put a chip in them, and as soon as that turtle is moved from that spot,
and track him.
You could detect it. And then the other issue come up about people falling into it. There's fences that we can put.
Of course.
There's all kinds of preventative things where you can do to enhance and negate all the negatives about it. And then there's all kinds of positive things you can do to enhance all the benefits of having, that there right behind hell.
Sure.
And then,
listen, I got another caller I need to get in before the news. So I'm gonna have to break in on you, but some interesting stuff that you've brought to us. Thank you for the call.
I'm okay with, signing off now too. And thanks again for your time, Chalo.
All right. You take care. Have a good afternoon.
You do too. You all be blessed.
We have another caller. Let's get them in before the news. Good afternoon. You're on the air.
Yeah, Chalo, one more time.
Yeah.
That man, he sounded like somebody I know, Chalo, on that split that he was talking about coming down from Hell Hole.
Yeah.
That split was right in the back of where I grew up as a little boy.
Uh-huh.
And I remember my mama holding my hand and take me over a wide path of that to go get mangoes those times.
We used to cross over the split?
Yes. That split, it went right through the land, right down to Northwest and shore.
That's how he described it, yeah.
Yeah, I believe I could still find it. Yes, man, if I went down there,
Yeah.
But Chalo, when you're talking about my friend, my schoolmate there a while ago, he was talking about, people that should be remembered is not remembered and things. But he missing Dr. Rose.
Well, Dr. Rose, yeah.
all those people, all those teachers and things, everybody he mentioned, I knew them all. Dr. Hodder, everybody. But he missing Dr. Rose. And in my age group, though, Chalo, I tell you, it wasn't too many West Bay young men and Georgetown young men that didn't attend to Dr. Rose in that time. For a reason that I'm not going to mention it on the radio.
Okay.
No, talking about emancipation, Chalo, I remember, man, in primary school, on Town Hall, right up to Standard 4.
Mm-hmm.
I never read no school books that I can remember telling me anything about emancipation.
Hearing came on.
Right.
Or generally.
Right. But in general, until I got my hands on 530-something pages of Cayman history.
Right. He hath founded it upon the seas?
Yes. There I start to know and hear about emancipation and things like that. And this woman named Long Celia. So I gotta give myself a holiday, man, and try to get back to the museum so I can hear a little bit more about this woman. She was a popular woman, man.
And was the other one was Elizabeth Trusty?
Yeah, all of them. I need the whole heap that I don't know, you know, and I never know.
Yeah, well, yeah. The museum has a great exhibit now on those two women.
Yeah, man. I go pay them a visit again. All right. Have a good night, old buddy.
All right. You take care.
Cool.
And a little what's up here, getting back to the bartending that we were talking about. This listener saying there were good Cayman bartenders back in the day from beach club days, like Louis Anglin, Irvin Rivers, and Claude Ebanks. And I'm sure a lot of the beach club patrons remember those names. It is 2:00, and that means we have to check in with the newsroom.
We are Radio Cayman,
covering Cayman Brac, Little Cayman, and Grand Cayman.
1 in a million. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market.
With your latest headlines, I'm Elizabeth Charles. The Ministry of Education and Training has announced updates to the Early Childhood Assistance Program to expand access and support for Caymanian families. ECAP provides funding to help Caymanian children who turn 3 before September 1st and meet financial means testing, access early childhood care and education. In a release today, the ministry said families over the current income threshold may now qualify under a new financial hardship provision if essential living costs take up 90% or more of their income. In international news, inflation in the United States has risen to 3.8%, driven by surging energy costs linked to the war in Iran and the closure of the Strait of Hormuz. The Bureau of Labor Statistics said today that April's Consumer Price Index shows the fastest annual increase since May 2023, up from 3.3% in March. Almost half of the rise came from energy, with housing and food also adding to the increase. The national average price for a gallon of unleaded gasoline is now $4.50 in the U.S., the highest since July 2022. In other news, artificial intelligence company Anthropic has rolled out new tools for law firms and lawyers using its Claude Assistant. The update adds features for specialized legal topics and lets Claude connect securely to third-party platforms for research and document management. In a report today, Reuters says existing Claude customers can now access Thomson Reuters' Westlaw primary law database and practical law guides from within the assistant. Thomson Reuters also announced its Co-Counsel AI platform will integrate with Claude, offering what it calls fiduciary-grade legal research. Those are the latest headlines. I'm Elizabeth Charles.
www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back and taking a look at the weather. It's 87 degrees here in Georgetown. It feels like 97 degrees. And sunset will be at 6:51 this evening. And let's take a look at the forecast. And the forecast is saying that we should expect partly cloudy skies, becoming cloudy at times today. And tonight, partly cloudy, becoming cloudy at times with 30% chance of showers. Temperatures will fall to the upper 70s. Winds will be variable and light at 5 knots or less. Seas will be slight with wave heights of 1 to 3 feet. And okay, they got tides on here now. Okay, today, the next high tide is at 7:04 this evening, and tomorrow low tide at 1:06 a.m., high at 6:25 a.m., and another low at 1:06 and a high at 7:46. For all you fishermen and boaters out there. We do have a caller on the line. Good afternoon. You're on the air. Hello, you're on the air with Talk Today.
Hello?
Yeah, you're on the air.
Okay, thanks, Charlo. How are you doing for this hot afternoon?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. How are you?
I don't know where you just got that 87 from, but...
No, but remember it said it feels like 97. Does that make more sense?
I'm registering 91 over here by the airport in front of Foster's.
Okay.
So, I don't know. But picking up on that...
Maybe it's how you have the thermometer. I guess theirs is in that box, right?
No, it's inside of my truck.
Oh, inside the truck. Well.
Yeah.
So what's up?
I just wanted to pick up. I think before I had to go in, I had to visit with a client.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I heard Mr. Orman from West Bay alluding to the fact of how we are hell-bent, it seems like, in this island, that when we see a tree that is native and it has some growth to it, when I mean some growth, no, I mean actual growth to it, we seem to be able to go out and find the first bulldozer, the biggest one we can get, and tear it down, and we allow all of these people to come in. And I have no idea why our planning board doesn't grow balls, because it might be able to help some of them to say that we are here, this is your restriction and what you can do. You know, it's like going certain places in the U.S. I think there's a place over on the west coast there, a little island called Amelia Island or something, in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
A Burger King can go there, but they can't put up a red and white and blue sign and say, I'm Burger King.
There's a restriction on the signage.
Exactly. And it can't be displaying these bright and loud colors. There must be island colors to match the environment. When you go down take a drive down to the Florida Keys, which is just like us, marlin and mangroves growing on top,
mm-hmm.
you know, We go in, you go down there, but let them catch you breaking one limb off of those mangroves. So see what happens. Back in the day, before they put in the restrictions, they were mining the marl out of there and making dunes, column, whatever, and stuff, same as we're doing here, right?
Yeah.
They shut all of that down. They've gone through the mangroves. They've made boardwalks. You can walk through the mangroves and enjoy them. You can sit next to the water, but you can't destroy them, and you can't litter within them. You know, it's a shame and a disgrace that we're losing this, all for the mighty dollar. And today, as we look and we see that we're going to move out here to 90,000 people, and in which there's another major development that has just been in the paper for more destruction of the southern shoreline mangroves towards South Sound, just off the Linford-Pearson Highway. Well, pretty soon, they'll soon have all of that gone because, and that, as I understand it, and I'm no scientist, I don't claim to be, I'm not. Yeah, I was taught biology down at the old base and the old hut down there, but, you know, from what I remember about it, I don't understand why, you know, and I'm just going to jump back to the Keys again, right? Where I have a good friend of mine down there wanted to build a little house and stuff, you know. But do you know not even a birch tree that is of significant size, they can cut down? Not even the birch tree that you can take a limb off it and replant it. And it'll grow. Birch tree is one of the quickest things to grow. So I don't understand why we can't have some sort of restriction on how our land must be used. Why do we have to have this free-for-all that everybody can take the bulldozer, walk inside, and there it goes? I can give you an example right here on our own little island. I went down into West Bay, your district, a few weeks ago, down by the Jim Powell Oval.
Yeah, I get lost down there sometimes now.
Yeah, because that West Bay can soon be concrete total. But when you drive down into, I think that road that comes off, where Solid's Bar is, and you go down next to, you know, I'm going down there. And I forget what that side road is.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank on it too.
Yeah. But anyway, you can get down
Something
there.
other Powell Smith?
Is it Powell? I can't remember. But you can go down there and get right out to the Jim Powell Oval playfield, right? Now, in that area, there's a lot of beautiful mahogany trees that are around, right? But right at the bottom of that road and at the round area, there was this huge mahogany tree. But lo and behold, they went in, and I understand it was public works, but I'm saying it out here, but that's who I understand put the sign up for Jim Powell Oval. And they put it behind the mahogany tree. So what do you think they did with the mahogany tree?
Don't tell me they cut it down, though.
Cut it down, not only that, but dig it up, roots and all. It's a crying shame. And this is our own Caymanian people that are out there and talking about government not doing something. What in the hell do we have government for? They come around here for 4 years. They get them on odd levels now so that they still can't. Before you would say they were even, now they're odd. So they're more odd. But nobody has the decency, decorum, respect, anything for the nature of this island. You know, it is a crying shame. And I blame every single Caymanian. I am one to the four, but I blame every last one of them.
So tell me, what do you think should be done. But say you have a piece of land, a house lot, and there's a nice, beautiful mahogany tree or any kind of native tree growing pretty much kind of in the middle of that property, right? Where you want to build a house. What should we do with that tree?
Charlotte, the answer around that is simple. You design around it as they do everywhere else. You design around it. What we're doing here is building square boxes of edifices and making, these developers are making millions of dollars. Nothing is being put back into this island from their development. Every one of them is taking it elsewhere. I've even had them say to one of my previous employees, they wouldn't buy anything in the Cayman Islands that they could not buy in China. But we, as a local entrepreneur and somebody trying to survive, they penalize us to the core. Our own Caymanians penalize us to the core. And then they get up, they go in the house and they talk, oh, we're doing this for Caymanians, they're doing that for Caymanians. Where are all these Caymanians that they're doing this for? They're putting out 90,000. How many of them are Caymanians? They want Caymanians. They got 4% unemployment. Is that what they're saying? So they got, what is that on the 90,000? That's how they're basing their facts? I don't understand it. I can't get it. They're talking about why is it so hot here? We are about a dot in the ocean. Go up in Peace Bay and see how much the land has been destroyed up there. We soon not going to have anything. I don't know how they expect they're going to fill South Sound at Peace Bay, because I can tell you right now, the only thing left for them to do now is connect it, and they got the biggest inland sea in either one of these three little islands that they want, because the ground's back there, and as a boy, we used to keep cows back there. It was beautiful. Don't do that no more. You go down inside there, you better know. They talked about they were going 50 feet, then they said they were going 80 feet. Well, they must have gone 180 feet now. I have no clue. Who is monitoring all of this? You go to the beaches in Bodden Town, East End, which is even getting, East End is starting to get worse. Bodden Town, in particular, in the Meager Bay area, in the ocean there.
Well, East End is getting to be a hot spot for land now too, right?
For what, sorry?
I say East End is getting to be a hot spot, I understand. For people buying up land.
You're right. You know, but everything is being, the natural environment up there is just being destroyed. I mean, now they talk about the silver touch. Go up there and see how much of it you can find in the areas where it is now that they're bulldozing into. You know, it's a shame that they're raking it apart. And we sit back and we do nothing. We got to go through all of this rigmarole that we're making these plans. These plans are coming. We got to get these experts to design or do this, right? When it's staring in your face what you need to do, you know, I don't know. It makes one start to bleed and really hurt for the future of what these young people coming behind that will call themselves natives of the Cayman Islands. They won't know it.
Tell me, are you encouraged any by the government's move to put a moratorium on, was it LCCLs that are formed to develop property? So that just
that should have been done a long time ago.
Well, I mean, this government has done it. You feel encouraged by that?
I have to wait to see it happen. You know, while there's encouragement, I have to wait to see it happen, because as usual, it's probably going to be lip service. You know, do you realize that you could go to the licensing board here? What is the licensing board? I think that's what is it, DCI or something?
Yeah, the Department of Commerce and Investment. Is it?
Investment.
They handle the trade and business license and stuff now.
They got some guy from down in Trinidad or somewhere about down there running that. He gives anybody to walk in the front door business license, except in a command.
But doesn't that go to a board?
That's what my understanding is.
Yeah, I mean, I thought there was a business licensing board, not one person handling it.
They questioned me about my business license. I've been operating in this island all of my life. 70 odd years of it. And you're going to get somebody coming inside and questioning and asking me what my those kind of things really, really gall me to the core. This is what makes people get up and angry. And I know why. The only time I was ever called to help government on anything was when Jim Biden was in power. And I gave him my recommendations. He did something about it. These people today, sometimes it is disgraceful to even ask them anything.
Well, listen, I got to break in on you because I got to do a commercial here.
Yeah, that's fine. But
I got someone on the line. Good to hear from you, though. So you gave us some.
The other thing that they need to do is to watch out for the climate change.
Oh, yeah.
Ivan was a wake-up call. Watch it.
Yeah. Well, thanks for the food. You gave us food for thought.
Thank you.
Take care. We're going to take a break. Caller, hang in there for me. Be right back with you.
Cineco's parametric insurance after hurricanes is now available for motor policies. Fixed automatic payouts cover incidental vehicle expenses like fuel, cleanup, and minor repairs. No claims, no damage required. $200 for comprehensive policies or $100 for third-party policies. Available exclusively through Cineco and included with all new motor insurance policies and upon renewal for current policies. Visit Cineco.ky today. Cineco. Keeping Cayman covered.
Hi, this is Gary King from Totally 80s. My special guest this week is Toya. Toya tells us what the 80s meant to her. I'll also bring you the latest news on the biggest stars of the decade.
Totally 80s.
Heard on Saturdays from 2 until 4 p.m. on Breeze 105.3 and 91.9. And brought to you with the kind compliments of KFC.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Welcome back, and let's go straight to the phone lines. Good afternoon. You're on the air with Talk Today.
Good afternoon, Mr. Glidden.
Hi.
Hi. I was catching up with your discussion there a few minutes ago. It sounded a bit of population numbers increasing and who we're building for and that sort of thing. And it kind of fell in the reason that I was wanting to call because I don't know who is manning this situation, but the government recently implemented a cutoff year for vehicles that can be imported. So I think it's no older than 6 or 7 years. But
yeah, I think it's was it 7, 8 years, something like that. Yeah,
6 or 7. Because I called Customs yesterday and they said the latest vehicle can be brought in 2026 would be a 2019.
Mm-hmm.
So my concern is that regardless of that, there is still such a huge influx of cars being imported. I mean, if I see another Honda Fit being imported, we have
that's
some
Cayman's national car.
National car. We have some dealers that have these little lots, that they
Yeah.
either rented or whatever, leased, and they have their cars parked there. And by the time they're isolated, vacated, the lots are vacated, then there's another batch coming back in, and you call the numbers and they'll say, oh, I have another shipment coming in the next week or 2 weeks, and I have no clue why we have to be importing these cars, because for me, I believe, based on what I see on Facebook and what I see on the road saying for sale or on EK Trade, that we have a substantial amount of turnaround vehicles that can be sold. And I wonder, do these people all have a dealer's license?
Well, I guess some of them that you actually see the lots do, but I think I remember
and
something
there's people that are importing too. There's people. Sorry to cut you. There's people that are importing too, that I get to understand are saying they're importing for personal use, but they're actually importing 1 to 2 vehicles randomly, and then they're reselling those. And it's, I'm going to do a video on it, because it's high time government monitor that and say, okay, well, John Brown, you imported 2 vehicles last month. Why are you importing another 2 this month? Or where are you? You can't be having 4 vehicles in your household alone. I don't know how they're going to do it, but if they're trying to curtail traffic problems, and I know the revenue of getting vehicles imported is especially customs increase their fees and so forth. So there's a lot of revenue coming in, but how is that going to fix our traffic problem, and how is that going to fix people trying to beat the system?
I thought a couple of years ago there was something about that customs was saying, if you're importing X number of cars a year, you need to go get a business license.
Right,
or we're going to stop you. I don't know what happened to that, but I do remember hearing something about that.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it's in place, but do they have, like for instance in Florida, you have to have a license to sell vehicles as a dealer.
Mm-hmm.
The U.S. is a much bigger place, but you have to have a license to sell vehicles as a dealer.
You have to have a license to do everything.
Yes, and then your license is dependent on how many vehicles you can sell, is dependent upon where you're going to store those vehicles and that sort of thing. And you have, number one, and most importantly, you have to be a permanent resident or a citizen of the U.S. You can't just come into the U.S. and say, I'm a visitor here, and I'm on a work visa,
mm-hmm.
and I'm going to sell cars. You just simply will not get a dealer license, So I was just wondering if you may have noticed some of those things along the way that I've noticed.
No, I've heard, someone in the car business was telling me that he knew of people here on work permits having a little side hustle, bringing in hybrids, because if you bring in a hybrid, you don't pay as much duty as you do if you bring in a gas car. So it's cheaper.
A lot of these newer model cars that they're importing definitely is hybrid. That's true.
Yeah, and so they are bringing, a lot of the fits are. They bring them in because they got a break on the import duty, and they're selling them as a side hustle. And he was saying, the irony of they are reducing the import duty that was reduced to encourage, the green thing.
Right.
But inside of that car is a battery that you're going to have to deal with when it gets to be about 10, 12 years old, maybe even 8 years old, right? You just don't take that and throw it in the dump, right? You gotta deal with that battery that's in that car. And it's like the size of a suitcase, right? That's dangerous stuff. You just can't just throw it to the side and leave it there, and you just can't throw it in the dump. So he was saying, they need to have some kind of charge on there for when the time comes, because it's going to cost somebody money, most likely the government, to deal with those batteries.
Mm-hmm. And the banks are offering 100% financing too on vehicles that are hybrid. So
Really?
I don't know. Yes, I called. I won't call the bank's names on air, but I called three what they call Class A banks
Yeah.
to ask, because I was told that one does, and so there were three that confirmed that yes, 100% financing on hybrid vehicles, and so it goes back to what you're saying now. Is there any provisions to think of the future and how it's going to be dealt with in terms of when the time does come for those vehicles to be, those batteries or whatever, to be recycled? But I don't know where the cars are going to go. I hope Minister Jay is listening to this segment, because I have no clue. The more they're talking about curbing traffic and alleviating traffic, the more vehicles you see being imported. And I kid you not, I've been checking because people have brought little things to my attention, and I see the lots, when I've been moving around and that sort of thing, and it just they just keep coming and coming and coming. And I know two little small dealers who's had cars sitting for months, but yet they're bringing in other vehicles. So
Yeah.
I don't know if the government is aware of this, but hopefully they are, and they're going to do something, because traffic is terrible, and we can't seem to get the little bypass open fast enough up on the eastern side. So, but I guess it's generating good revenue for the government, and our MPs don't have to drive during peak traffic time. So, it's a slow go, but I'll leave you with that, Mr. Glidden. It's
All right.
30, so.
Well, you get the last word today.
Yes, thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Take care. Have a good afternoon.
You too.
Yes, we're down to the end of the line here. Been some interesting exchange of ideas here on Talk Today. I want to thank you all for tuning in, and a special thanks to all those who called in and drove the conversation this afternoon. I'm Charles Glidden. Thank you so much for tuning in. One love.
Talk Today is brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history. Explore your land. Explore your sister islands. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital. Always there for you. Call 949-6066.